Hey, what's up guys? It's Scares here. Now our first story of today comes from YouTube. So last week, YouTube announced that they're going to be removing dislikes off the entire platform. That's right, you are no longer going to be able to see dislikes on YouTube videos, so you won't be able to see how many people have disliked a video. And this is obviously a big deal because ratings and dislikes have been around since the beginning of YouTube. But last week, there was a video uploaded to one of the official YouTube channels where they say here that they have seen that the dislike bar is being misused now and that there are trolls that will sometimes dislike the video for no reason, and they want to protect creators' feelings. They want to protect YouTubers from feeling stressed out or embarrassed from dislikes.
Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard. And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice. So, the update from YouTube is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private.
So clearly this video from YouTube was very controversial. They got a ton of backlash over this because both YouTubers and viewers are saying that this is a crucial tool for watching YouTube videos. And the best way to see if people are upset with the video is to check how many dislikes it has. One YouTuber tweeted out saying, "Well, there it is. YouTube is officially phasing out the dislike button. Now all the shitty creators won't be held accountable for their actions as much because all the YouTubers will be on a level playing field." What a horrible decision by YouTube. And that's right. One of the best ways to tell if there's something going on with the YouTuber and if a YouTuber might be lying in a video is to see if their video has a lot of dislikes. Well, because YouTubers can easily moderate their comment sections, it's going to be very, very hard to tell if a YouTuber is manipulating you, is lying to you, or just straight up clickbaiting you before you watch the whole video because you won't be able to see how much backlash the video really has. And one creator tweeted out an example of this here. He says, "I'm sorry, but this has got to be the lowest form of content there is. They extend the title as far as possible so people don't see the word concept on the video preview and they think it's a real trailer. The removal of dislikes is going to make this shit worse," and he shows here that there is so much clickbait on YouTube. There's so many videos on YouTube where they're literally lying to you, and sometimes they even give you viruses with the links they put in the description. So it's very hard to tell when you're being messed with if you can't see the dislikes. Now some creators feel like YouTube is lying to us about why they're really hiding the dislikes. They say here that it's not to protect small creators from getting dislikes on their videos, but in reality it's to protect brands and advertisers, because some of these brands will get a lot of dislikes on a new product that people don't like, and that might affect sales for them. One person tweeted this out. They said, "This is just more bullshit to protect brands from honest feedback. You're not allowed to dislike anything brands make, just consume." So while the whole YouTube community is upset with this change, it looks like YouTube has really put their foot down on this and they are not going to revert it. They've already started rolling this out and you might already not be able to see any dislikes on YouTubers' videos. And this is by far the biggest change we've seen on the whole platform. Well, interestingly enough, it looks like the tech community on YouTube are the real ones pushing to have this change reverted and to be able to see dislikes on videos. The tech YouTuber Marcus Brownlee tweeted this out. He says, "Hey YouTube, removing info from the rating system is not helpful. Public like and dislike ratios is a useful tool to see how helpful a video will be at a glance. Hiding dislikes helps nothing but increases the number of people dissatisfied by spending too much time watching an unhelpful video." And Marcus posted a huge video on this last week. Just watch this.
Because here's the thing about the like and dislike count. When you put them together, it forms a ratio. And that ratio is the immediately glanceable piece of information that I can look at when I arrive on a video to know if it's going to be worth my time to watch it or not. And that little glanceable thing is super useful in lots of contexts. So when you hide the dislike counter, it's no longer a ratio, and basically you hide a very useful piece of information to determining if a video is worth spending your time watching or not.
Now one creator responded to Marcus saying this is a perfect example of what he was talking about. Here is a fake trailer for Squid Game Season 2, but because you can't see the dislike number, you don't know it's fake until you start realizing all the random movie clips that they put together. So obviously the tech community is upset with this change, and they're being very vocal about it to try to get YouTube to revert this because they feel like it's going to hurt their community and hurt YouTube as a whole. And it looks like some tech YouTubers have fought so hard over this that they have actually been able to secure meetings with YouTube to try to tell them that this is a bad idea. The YouTuber Linus Tech Tips tweeted this out. He says, "I managed to secure a meeting with YouTube's project manager who worked on the dislike high change. Please reply and upvote your main concerns in response to this tweet. Provide specific examples of the kind of misleading content or it won't really help me." So this is huge because Linus Tech Tips might be the guy that ends up saving YouTube. Linus might really be able to explain to YouTube why this is such a bad idea, and there's so many YouTubers and viewers who are responding to Linus's tweet showing examples of why this is horrible. The YouTuber Schlatt tweeted out saying that literally any tutorial or product review loses its credibility if you can't see the ratio of likes to dislikes. Now, the most insane response that we've seen from YouTube hiding the dislikes is from one of the creators of YouTube themselves. That's right, the actual founder of YouTube, a guy known as Jod, has spoken out against YouTube removing dislikes. So for those of you who don't know, Jod is one of the most well-known founders of YouTube, and this is because he uploaded the first ever YouTube video on the entire platform. He posted this vlog back in 2005, and this is the first video on YouTube. It has over 200 million views, and just yesterday, Jod changed the description of the first ever YouTube video, and he says, when every YouTuber agrees that removing dislikes is a stupid idea, it probably is. Try again, YouTube. And then he puts a face palm there. So even one of the creators of YouTube is speaking out against this. But that's not all, because just today, Jod changed the description of the first ever video again, and he made it a much longer description where he goes in more detail on why he thinks this dislike change is a bad idea. He even goes so far as to say that this guy in the video announcing that YouTube is removing dislikes looks like he is being held hostage. He says, I have never seen a less enthusiastic, more reluctant announcement of something that is supposed to be great. Jod then goes on to say that no one on YouTube thinks that this is a good change, but he says that there is a reason for this change that we are not going to know about, that's not going to be publicly disclosed. He claims here that this change was not what they're telling us. It's something completely different, and we don't actually know the real reason why YouTube is hiding dislikes. Jod then tells us what he intended for YouTube to be like. Keep in mind, he created the platform. He says the ability to easily and quickly identify bad content is an essential feature of a user-generated content platform. Why? Because not all user-generated content is good. It can't be. In fact, most of it is not good, and that's okay. The idea was never that all content is good. The idea was, however, that among the flood of content, there are great creations waiting to be exposed. And for that to happen, the stuff that's not great has to fall by the side as quickly as possible. He then is basically predicting the decline of YouTube because of this change. He says in business, there's only one thing more important than make it better, and that's don't fuck it up. So this is by far the biggest story we've ever covered when it comes to YouTube making changes on their platform. I mean, this change is just so drastic, people can't believe it. You even have the founder of YouTube coming back just to tell people how much he hates this change and how he thinks it's going to put the platform in decline. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated on if YouTube does decide to revert this change and what happens with Linus's meeting. If anything comes from that, who knows? But our next story for today comes from the massive YouTuber MrBeast. So for those of you who don't know, last month MrBeast announced that he's going to be recreating Squid Game in real life. He's getting together hundreds of contestants. He's putting a ton of time, effort, and money into this to try to recreate the real Squid Game on his channel. And this looks like it's going to be the biggest project a YouTuber has ever done. So MrBeast tweeted this out a few days ago. He says, I now have every game from Squid Game built in real life. And he shows here that he really has gotten every single set almost fully recreated in real life. Just this video alone has already garnered tens of millions of views. So people are wondering how big this series is going to be on his channel. It will probably be the biggest video series a YouTuber has ever come out with. It's pretty amazing. Now, one creator responded to MrBeast saying, you're actually ridiculous. How much did the total project cost? And MrBeast actually reveals to us how much money this whole thing has cost so far. He says they've spent around $2 million to build and produce and $1.5 million in prizes. So after MrBeast revealed just how big this project really is, you had everyone on social media talking about this. There was discussions about this situation and how much money and effort MrBeast is putting into this series, and a lot of his fans are very happy with him for just putting so much effort into making content for them. But a lot of people on Twitter actually got upset with MrBeast because they are saying here that he has spent way too much money making this set when he could have given that money away. One person tweeted out saying, hot take, but I feel once you reach this level of wealth, maybe you should be using said wealth to benefit the impoverished and not use it to recreate a show that is a direct critique of the exact thing being done here. But hey, that's just me. So he's saying because of the premise of the Squid Game show, this is messed up and that he should not be spending so much money and that he could be giving his money away. And this tweet completely blew up. It made over 100,000 likes in only a day. I mean, there was a huge witch hunt on Twitter of people going after MrBeast for trying to recreate Squid Games and putting so much time and money into this. One person tweeted out saying, you know that TV show about a game where desperate people kill themselves for the chance of winning money, telling us about how sadistic the rich can be and how the working class is just entertainment fodder for them? Let's do this in real life. Don't worry, nobody dies, so it's okay. And there were so many people upset with MrBeast for being so successful and having all this money and using that money to make more content. I guess they're saying that he should be giving his money away. One person tweeted out saying, MrBeast, can you do something else? Maybe make homes for homeless people. That might be a good idea. So here's the issue, guys. For those of us who have actually watched MrBeast, we know that MrBeast gives away a ton of money to charity, okay? This guy even has his own philanthropy channel, and he has his own food bank. So many fans of MrBeast started to fight back. They were defending him on Twitter, saying that this is messed up. MrBeast is one of the most charitable YouTubers on the whole platform. This guy gives away money all the time. Most of the money that he makes goes back into making his videos, or he gives it away to charity. Eric tweeted out saying, why is Twitter canceling MrBeast for spending $3 million on a Squid Game video and not giving the money to charity when he's already given upwards of $100 million to charity and just wants to make a fun video? This goddamn app. Even people who are not MrBeast fans were coming out and saying that this is just not right. Like, MrBeast has clearly done stuff for charity. One person responded saying, not a big MrBeast fan, but it takes one Google search to see if he's done anything good for the homeless. And even though there were so many YouTubers and fans that were coming out and supporting MrBeast and showing that he does a lot for charity, there were people that were still upset with him. There's people that are still mad at him because he has a lot of money and because he's successful. Phoebe tweeted out saying MrBeast could solve world hunger and he'd still be hated by people who tell the homeless man they don't have any pennies. And this has led to many YouTubers calling out people on Twitter, saying that people on Twitter will just get upset over anything. The YouTuber Muda from Someone Ordinary Gamer tweeted this out. He says, only on this site could people bitch about MrBeast's upcoming Squid Game video. Have some fun in life. If I was as rich as Elon Musk, I'd buy this shithole of an app and shut it down. And our next story for today has to do with Streamlabs. So I'm sure many of you have used Streamlabs before. It is one of, if not the most popular streaming software for Twitch and live streaming in general. You have many people that use this on Twitch to stream. Well, it turns out that Streamlabs is under fire right now because they recently released a software that is extremely similar to another smaller company. Now, this is called Streamlabs Studio, and it makes it easy for people who have a console to be able to easily stream and show donations and overlays and everything on their stream while they're just using their console, even without a capture card. And at first glance, this seems like a pretty cool concept. I mean, Streamlabs even partnered with Twitch over this, and they have been rolling this out. Twitch has been tweeting about this. It's been a very big deal, but it turns out that this concept from Streamlabs might have been taken directly from a smaller company called Lightstream. Now, Lightstream has almost the exact same page explaining their own concept as Streamlabs does, and Lightstream called out Streamlabs over this. They say, hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious you copied. Bet. And they show here that Streamlabs has been copying them almost word for word. Look at how similar these two pages are. One of them is from Lightstream and one of them is from Streamlabs, where they created this after Lightstream, and they just almost completely copy this. I mean, even the testimonials on the bottom are almost the exact same. These guys just do not care at all. It looks like Streamlabs is just straight up ripping off this smaller company here, and the founder of Lightstream tweeted this out. He says the team at Streamlabs should be ashamed. They're not satisfied enough to ride OBS's hard work. Now they copy ours down to the layout and every word on the marketing site and our UX in this project. So the founder of Lightstream is calling out Streamlabs here, but he also brings up OBS, and he says here that Streamlabs is riding off of OBS. And now what is he talking about? Well, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who don't stream on Twitch, you might not know that the two biggest streaming software on Twitch is both OBS and Streamlabs. These are the two big competitors on Twitch. You either stream using OBS or you stream using Streamlabs. And I want to make it very clear here, OBS is open broadcast software, okay? They are completely free. You don't have to pay anything, but Streamlabs does have services where you have to pay them money. But a while ago, Streamlabs came out with a product called Streamlabs OBS, which was apparently supposed to be like a better version of OBS. You had a lot more people going to Streamlabs OBS because they thought it was actually connected with OBS, but actually that is not the case. Streamlabs OBS was never partnered with OBS in the first place, and OBS even came out on Twitter yesterday and called out Streamlabs over this. OBS tweeted out saying, near the launch of Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us about using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did so anyway and followed up by filing a trademark. We've tried to sort this out in private and they have been uncooperative at every turn. We're often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the two apps. Our support volunteers are sometimes met with angry users demanding refunds. We've had interactions with several companies who did not realize our apps were separate. Legally, they have obeyed the terms of the GPL, which is OBS's free to use license, but they have repeatedly disregarded the spirit of open source and of giving back. Despite these actions by Streamlabs, the OBS project will continue to provide free, open software and tools for everybody. We will continue to support our users, the community, and our amazing developers for their hard work. Now, this response from OBS completely blew up last night. You have so many creators now saying that they are no longer going to stream with Streamlabs. They're only going to use OBS to stream because they don't trust Streamlabs anymore. The massive YouTuber Jacksepticeye responded to OBS saying, "I really thought that Streamlabs OBS was associated with you guys and just a different version. Thank you for your software. It's revolutionized the way many of us do our jobs." The huge Twitch streamer Hassan tweeted this out. He says, "I will never use Streamlabs again if they don't immediately resolve this matter." And even Pokimane has called out Streamlabs over this. Keep in mind that Pokimane is Streamlabs' top partnered streamer, okay? She is actually partnered with Streamlabs, and she tweeted this out. She says, "Streamlabs better resolve this entire thread of issues, or I'll be asking them to take my face off the platform and look for another donation service." So Streamlabs has just responded to this whole situation. They posted on Twitter saying, "We are taking immediate action to remove OBS from our name." Streamlabs OBS is built on top of the OBS open source platform. Streamlabs OBS is also open source, and our code is publicly available. We take responsibility for our actions and will support the community. So this response from Streamlabs has gotten a lot of negative feedback because people feel like they're only doing this because they got caught in the first place, and they don't think they're doing enough to fix this. And our final story from today comes from the YouTube group The Sidemen. So I'm sure many of you watch the Sidemen YouTube channel. They make millions of views every single video. People love their content. Well, it looks like the Sidemen are planning on doing something big. They may start their own food delivery service. Now, I'm sure many of you know about MrBeast Burger. It's MrBeast's own burger chain, and it's very successful here in America, and there are people that buy it all the time. And the Sidemen seem to be releasing something similar here. It's going to be called Eat Sides. The official Twitter account tweeted out saying, "You thought we'd leave you hungry? Eat Sides is coming soon to a city near you." Now, KSI responded saying, "Oh, the Sidemen are really trying to take over, huh?" So over the past day or so, we've seen many Sidemen members promote this, and fans are now just excited to see what exactly Eat Sides really is. And that's it for our video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you later. Peace.